Welcome to Draw One Last Breath Horror Podcast. My name's Matt.
I'm Butch.
I'm Geordie Paul.
Welcome to episode 107. On this episode, we have been to the cinema to watch Black Phone. Also, in our Something to Scream About, we are looking at the last two episodes of, you guessed it, Stranger Things. Not only that, Paul picked our movie from the vault last episode, and it was Prince of Darkness. How the devil are you doing, boys?
Was it a devil or is it the aliens? I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, all good, man. All good in the hood. Strange Things, fuck, has taken my life. I've got my little Hellfire t-shirt on.
Everyone's life.
So, yeah, man. Excited to talk about that. Let's just skip all the movies and just go straight for a fucking 2-hour talk about Strange Things.
What are you going to do though, Paul? Because season 5 is until 2024.
That's mental. I can't believe somebody told me that in the shop the other day, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, literally.
I think that's standard. I mean, they've been like 2 years between most of them, so.
Oh, I just can't wait that long.
That's why the kids are so old. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Right. All good. What have I been watching? What have I been up to?
Oh yeah, what have you been watching, Paul? Why don't you ask yourself? Go ahead. Be my guest.
Strange Things. Over and over and over again. No, I did watch something else. Midnight in the Switchgrass, starring Bruce Willis, Megan Fox, and Emile Hirsch. Interesting little cast. I mean, it's got Machine Gun Kelly in it as well. So obviously the movie's Megan Fox has gone, can I get my boyfriend in this, please? And she's a really good actress in this. It's actually, to be honest, no, it's not that bad. Bruce isn't in it that much. It's mainly centered around her and Emile Hirsch. It's not completely, dialing it in, but the subject is like about a truck stop murderer. It's sort of based on true events as well. Not a bad little watch. It's not like got over gore or anything like that. You don't really see anything too weird or nasty or naughty or anything like that. But so it's not groundbreaking. Sort of just feels like there you go. It's a true story with Bruce Willis, Megan Fox, and Emile Hirsch. And
I'll be not watching that one, mate. You haven't told that to me at all.
Actually, Paul, to be fair, I actually popped that on my list because I tend to, any sort of serial killery stuff, I always put it on. So, yeah, it's definitely on there.
Yeah, cool. All right, what have you been up to then, Mr. Geordie Paul?
Not a lot horror-wise, to be honest. My 4-year-old, was 3-year-old, it was his 4th birthday, so we've been to the pictures at cinema a couple of times in a week, and but it's been to see Lightyear and Minions, so not really horrendous. So no, I haven't really watched anything apart from the podcast stuff, so not really been up much. Obviously, apart from Stranger Things, but I'm sure we'll cover that in a small while. But yeah, nothing horror related, unfortunately, guys.
You can call it the pictures, mate. I call it the pictures.
Yes.
There's no problem with that.
They got the pictures like. But yeah, no.
Oh, dude.
And Lightyear is very good, and Minions was alright. So there you go, just a quick one.
Cool. What about you, Matt?
Stranger Things, and that's about it, mate. It's consumed me. I've been catching up on The Boys. I've only just got to the named, the Amazing series, Amazing episode 5, which I haven't even watched yet, so no spoilers. That I've heard everyone talking about it. But yeah, I'm just getting through that. But I am going to up my game. I promise. I promise to be more professional in the next couple of weeks and come back with some new finds that I've watched. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I'm going to go and try and do some more searching for some random stuff.
Because to be honest, we can start prepping for Halloween, right?
Yeah, man. I did watch another thing that was new on Netflix, Man from Toronto, with Woody Harrelson. It's always a good shout. Kevin Hart. They're a good little combo. It's like a little sort of assassins movie. Not bad. Some good kick-ass bits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not bad. But there you go. Should we move on to some news then?
Let's go.
Do it.
I'll give it to you, Matt.
For me?
Mm.
Oh, thank you very much. I've got loads of news. We've got a little bit of Stranger Things news. I don't know if we want to cover this when we talk about Stranger Things and our Something to Scream About. Maybe so come back to me, and I think we'll have a chat about that said news when we finish our chat on Stranger Things. Yeah? Is that cool?
Okay, yeah.
The only other thing I've got is a couple of sad bits of news. The Shining actor, Joe Turkel, has passed away at 94. I mean, great innings. Now, he was the guy that played the omnibus barman behind the bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Hasn't really died though, isn't he? He's just in the Overlook, isn't he?
Yeah, he's probably behind the bar and having a whiskey or something like that. But 94 years old, you know, big bucket of win there, as they say. So that was cool. And the only other, again, a bit sad news is literally you just found out about 5 minutes ago that James Caan passed away, which is really sad at 84.
Yeah, I'm in misery. I'm in misery right now.
Nice.
Too soon. But yeah, what an amazing career he had. You know, he obviously went into kind of not hiding. He kind of like stopped making movies a while ago, didn't he? But he's got a plethora of cool movies behind him. So yeah, God rest their souls.
Was that a pun?
Maybe.
Godfather rest his soul.
Souls, yeah. Oh,
sorry,
wow.
I best check my elf.
Oh my God. Right, anyway, moving on. What about you? Geordie Paul, let's go to you. What news you got?
I haven't really got a lot of news, guys. It's just trailers, to be honest. So a couple of trailers that I managed to catch. One was for a film called Barbarian. I don't know if you've seen this. Out in August. Basically, from what I can gather, it's got Bill Skarsgård in it, and it's about a lady who books an Airbnb and rocks up to the Airbnb, and Bill Skarsgård's already staying there.
Have we not talked about this recently, like on a previous pod?
Oh, did we? Sorry.
Last episode.
Well, I wasn't listening. So the trailer's out. It looks a bit creepy. So sorry about that.
I vaguely remember the plot.
Again.
I swear somebody's told me that plot before.
It did really. Oh, sorry.
But at least we know the trailer's out there now, so we can go and check it out.
Yeah, the trailer looks quite cool. It doesn't really give a lot away, but it looks like it's quite jump scary and quite thrillery. So, and then the other one was, I'm pretty sure we haven't done this one, but directed by Rob Zombie's brother. There's a film out called Allegoria. And it's coming out on Shudder, I think, and it looks mental. The trailer's out, and it just looks crazy. And I think it'll be right up your guys' street, to be honest. So definitely check that one out. But Allegoria, it's called.
Allegoria. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it looks crazy. It looks
sounds
crazy.
like a Harry Potter spell to me.
It looks a bit. Do you know what? Right, regardless of yeah. Yeah, Jesus. I was just flashing in my head there was a Harry Potter film directed by Rob Zombie. Oh,
I'd watch that all day. The spell turns inside out.
Jesus, yeah. But yeah, so it does look good. It looks like, if I was to describe the trailer to you guys, it would be like an intellectual Rob Zombie film. If that.
How dare you?
No,
take that back right now.
I was not disrespecting Rob Zombie, but it was a bit more it looked a bit more trippy and a bit more highbrow than Rob Zombie.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so that's my one and a bit bits of news.
All right, cool. I'll take on the mantle then. I got a couple of pieces here. Nice one that were really interesting. Terrifier 2 news. Update Bloody Disgusting has acquired Terrifier 2. And it'll be on Screenbox TV, whatever the fuck that is. So
what are we going to do then? What are we
well, it'd probably be a 30-day trial for me when Terrifier 2 comes out. I'll probably get the 30-day free trial when that coming out. So it is getting a theatre release. Whether that's probably America, don't know. But we'll see where we're going to get to watch that. But it is going on to Screenbox TV in terms of streaming.
Can you wait?
Well, apparently David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future is already available to buy. I saw that online the other day. It's already on Blu-ray. It might be in America, but yeah. It's like, Jesus, when did we miss that?
Keep an eye out, Matt. On the cards. American Horror Stories. Did you guys catch any of that?
No.
It's weird. They're just like little shorts. So they've obviously got the series and stuff. And now they've done like a cut off, which is called American Horror Stories. and they're just like they're like not shorts, but they're just like individual kind of snippets, almost like their own version of Black Mirror, if you like. Pretty decent, I thought, the first season and stuff. Had some really interesting concepts on there. A sex demon and all sorts of weird stuff. But they've released a trailer, which is fucking, I don't know if it's anything to do with the series, but it's just like a load of like weird, freaky dolls, very like, stop animation sort of thing. Like loads of dolls with no heads and really colourful. It looks very interesting. It comes out on July 21st on FX, or on Hulu. So we'll probably see that on, I reckon on Disney Plus over here. So that looks interesting. I'll be watching all them and keeping you up to date on that. Another shark movie. I don't know if you guys have seen The Reef. It is available on Shudder at the moment. But there's a sequel to The Reef called The Reef Stalked, and it's swimming to Shudder this summer.
Is it about a pervy shark?
that would be, I'd watch that. So, but yeah, July 29th, it'll be out, and select cinemas, but, you know, we ain't going to see shit like that. But it stars, a few girls on paddleboards, out to sea, and they're being stalked by a shark. There you go. For the people out there, Paul's recently been doing a bit of paddleboarding, haven't you? Yes, which is why I took interest in this movie, not because of the sharks.
Are you the pervy Stark Stalker, are you? Stark Stalker? Shark Stalker.
Too many gins there.
Too many gins, sorry.
Cool.
Lovely day outside.
So there we go. That's my my news. Let's move on to our main review.
Would you like to see a magic trick?
Yeah.
Tell me your name.
Taylor.
I was really starting to like you, Finny. I almost let you go.
Don't hang up. Who are you?
You know all our names?
It doesn't work. Hang it up.
Okay, so on to our main review. We have been to the cinema to watch The Black Phone. After being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. So, where are we going to start with this one, lads?
Wow. It's directed by Scott Derrickson. He's written by, this was a surprise for me, Joe Hill, which is Stephen King's son. Is that right?
Correct.
Yep. Starring Ethan Hawke as the grabber, Mason Thames as Finney, and Madeleine McCraw as Gwen, the two kids. Wow. I mean, this is like an era-based horror, much like we got with X, set in the 70s. Surrounded by a child kidnapper going around in like a black van taking kids off the street, and it's sort of happening quite fast and quick in terms of the kids that are being taken off the street, and they're sort of in this like sort of suburban American area, if you like. It's sort of very much like kids are still walking to school and getting picked off the street, even though there's missing posters going up everywhere. We follow Finney through most of this movie, and it's got that very Stephen King DNA all the way through it. You know, that's very much what I sort of got from this movie. It's sort of reminded me a little bit of his coming of age. It's got the classic bullying tropes. Really, it's just the brutality is interesting, and yeah, it just felt like watching a Stephen King movie, but kind of different at the same stage, I suppose. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Go on, Geordie Paul.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought the start credits I thought were phenomenal. I thought I was about to watch something Texas Chainsaw Massacre like. Do you know what I mean? Now I know obviously there's reference to it in the film, but the start credits for me got me right under my skin. Like almost the sort of like Seven, like with what Fincher did with the Seven opening credits. It was like quite dark and quite, oh god, I'm in for a treat here. But yeah, definitely, like, I completely agree with what you're saying, Paul. It was, all them little, like, small town, everyone knows each other. The bullies were established quite quick, quite sort of violent, kids with sort of, have they got powers, have they not got powers, dysfunctional family, that type of Stephen King. Yeah, definitely had all that all over it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the bullies were memorable in this, like they are in other Stephen King movies, and the sort of interactions for those moments. Like, if you compare this to sort of like The Losers and Henry Bowers and all that sort of stuff, you had that. There was those moments where you're like, fuck, that was different. That went a little bit.
But I suppose that's how it was back in the day, where all that type of stuff usually got unchecked. Like, it was sort of like boys will be boys, or, in the playground it gets sorted out. That's where it stops. But it was quite, he sort of harkens back to a bygone area where, there's no sort of social media, or no one was sort of checking everything everyone was doing, and you could get away with a bit of a scrap in the playground, but it was quite heavy.
Definitely. What about you, Matt? What are your thoughts?
You guys quite finished?
Oh, Matt's here, yeah.
I thought it was terrible. No, I'm only joking. No, I, like you said, I pretty much mirror what you guys say. I mean, it has some phenomenal acting in it. The Mason Thomas, the guy, the kid that is the main guy in it, Finn, he's brilliant. His emotions and stuff that he goes through without kind of like even trying. And he's not been in a lot of stuff, but I just felt that the way it's filmed as well was really gritty, and you really felt like what people are doing in movies, obviously Stranger Things, everything like that, they are getting the eras bang on, like really good sets, clothes, hairstyles. And now it's just like they don't even have to try. It's so good. Obviously it's from Blumhouse as well, so it's not a huge budget, which is again good, and it's earned buckets of money at the box office. Apparently 70 million so far. So it's done really well. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. It was really, after everything that has been done. Obviously it's based on a short story by Stephen King's son. And yeah, Paul, you're right. It totally has loads of kind of references to, seems like Stephen King-esque things, big time, but with something new, like how, people keep coming up with brand new things. And it's really, I didn't like, apart from some twats at the back that kept screaming and stuff, which took us right out of the movie. Apart from that, I was totally engrossed in the movie the whole way through. Absolutely amazing. Ethan Hawke's performance is fucking amazing in this movie. Yeah, absolutely outstanding.
He's going from strength to strength. He was always like, for me, an okay actor, but like lately, like the villains that he's sort of playing and portraying are like really sort of different.
Oh mate, he's coming into his kind of, I don't know, he's coming in this Renaissance period anyway. He's just gone, stand aside. I'm going to let myself fucking shine now, which is brilliant. Yeah.
I liked all the 70s touches, the cut off jackets and stuff like that, and the clothes, the era. I love how it was presented. I just like the feel of it. It sort of didn't look clean, if you know what I mean. It still had like that sort of unpolished edge to it, which, like with X, it's sort of the way that they filmed it. There must be a certain camera that they're filming, or a lens.
Yeah, I wonder what it was filmed on. If it was like filmed on a certain kind of, whether it's filmed on kind of like a special, actual real film or something like that.
Yeah, the palette was incredible, I thought. And they sort
I
of like...
always call it scuzzy. I don't know why, it's
Yeah.
scuzzy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good word for it. But you're right, Ethan Hawke was the jewel in the crown of this movie, man. Like, I know what you're saying about the kid, the main actor was very good in it, but Ethan Hawke, man.
Yeah,
Not a lot of screen time either.
No, and the main draw of this movie is the poster with that fucking mask. The mask's incredible.
Oh, the mask was really interesting, wasn't it? Because he came in with like different styles. 1 minute it's kind of like sad, and then it's different, and it's like shocking, and like, yeah, that was creepy. Some good jump scares as well.
Yeah, we had someone actually scream in the cinema through one of the jump scares. I can't remember which one it was. I mean, me and Matt definitely had a fucking shit ourselves for one of them. And, whenever they turn around, there's a fucking ghost there, probably.
I think it's the biggest bit was that bit where his sister's riding on the bike, and then there's the four boys are stood in front of her. Oh my fucking god, I shit my pants.
But the interactions with the ghosts that were just so much, I think the word fun, but interesting to watch. Like, it had that sort of like, he was, instead of being part of a gang like the losers, he was part of a gang, if you liked. They were helping him. They were sort of like acquaintances in some respect, and he'd had interaction with these people, and they obviously wanted their revenge on the person. But the way they were sort of helping him out, like you had Paperboy, Bruce, who was like his baseball buddy, Robin, who was like the fucking guy who seemed to kick everyone's fucking ass.
He was genius here. He reminded me a bit of Corey Feldman in all the 80s films, and Lost Boys and Goonies. He just reminded me of a hard Corey Feldman. No,
that Robin was the guy with the who was kicked the shit out of Moose.
Oh, what, the bandana? Sorry.
Yeah, bandana. He didn't look like he was a fucking, he's like not the biggest kid, but he can kick the shit out of you.
He's obviously watched like Karate Kid or something.
Yeah.
Like karate movies, because it probably wouldn't have had Karate Kid by then.
And now they're talking about Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, and a good mention of Texas Chainsaw. That was cool.
But yeah, I like Vance as well. I think he was the one with the cut off in the. He was the pinball guy.
I love that. The soundtrack that they used to that is from features in Guardians as well. The net camera it's called now. That was cool. I like that scene.
Yeah, but the set as well. The sets were really interesting. The sort of basement was sort of just not one dimensional, if you like. It felt like a character in itself, including the phone that was on the wall.
Totally, man. Totally. Really good use of space that was. Just a quick one. Did either of you know the movie that he was watching? I don't know what it was. I was going to see if you guys had researched and seen what it was.
On the TV?
Yeah.
The black and white one?
No, it was black and white, but then it was colour, wasn't it, when the hand was coming out of the tub, out of the blood.
I thought, do you know what? I got the impression that was just done for the film.
Do you reckon?
It might not be, but I don't know. Because even when he was watching the film, obviously it echoed the scene in It, where Beverly's in the bathroom and all the blood appears.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Matt, but I was literally sat there thinking, Jesus, have they put that in as a bit of a homage to it?
And when it's raining, his sister's on the bike wearing a yellow Mac, I just turned to Paul and I was like, Georgie! I was like, come on, man.
Mention his sister. Jesus, what the fuck?
Oh, mate, the vocabulary was sweet from her. It just reminded me of that little girl in, what was that film we watched where she's always swearing with the big monster dude? Oh, what was it called? Butch?
The big monster dude?
Big rubber monster dude that's like, she's always swearing at her brother. And she's swearing throughout the whole film.
Psycho Gorman, was it?
That's it, Psycho Gorman, yeah.
Yeah, she had a real attitude. And she's quite established. Unlike Mason, she's quite established. She's done quite a few. She's got quite a big IMDb for her age.
Oh, really?
Even like Toy Story 4, I think I saw on there.
Wow.
So, she's done a lot. Yeah. She was fucking good. And like when she came and when they done the twist, like she came and rescued him.
Yeah.
In a way. Not well, sort of.
It was that whole she's got telepathic powers or she's got some sort of supernatural powers that was passed down from her mother and all. So there's quite a lot of sort of family history unexplained in it. You know what I mean? They've obviously got an alcoholic father, which they're terrified of.
That's what I wanted to talk about real quick, but that's what seemed quite clever, what I thought, is that obviously they've got this home life where they've got an abusive father that, let's face it, is an arsehole to him. What was clever is when the kid gets kidnapped, he initially doesn't seem that bothered. He's not massively fazed by it, because it's clever because his actual real life is so shit that he's now put in another shit situation, that he handles it at the start really well. And then he kind of melts down when he just can't win. He can't get a break, which was really, really good. Another great bit of acting, I thought.
Yeah, and he was from Lost, wasn't he? He's like a completely different character. He was the one who plays the sort of erratic scientist and stuff in Lost. He was quite good when they came onto the island and stuff. That was so I've seen him like sort of that role.
Who was that?
The dad.
Oh, the dad. Okay, yeah.
He's in like a lot of DC TV stuff. He's like Arrow and.
I noticed him from
Flash and
something.
It's definitely the first time I ever saw him out as an actor. Apologies for not knowing his name, but was in a film called Rescue Dawn with Christian Bale in, like a Vietnam War.
Rescue Dawn, it's awesome movie.
Yeah, he's like the skinny crazy one in that. So.
Ah, really?
Yeah, it's a really good film. So.
That is cool.
So, like, I think the one thing with this movie is I found that I cared about the characters. I definitely didn't want Finney to die. I wanted him to escape. I wanted him to overcome like all the different barriers and stuff that had to do that. And I like the little twist ending and stuff like that with the houses. You know, even though she like the sister's trying to work it all out in her own way, didn't quite get there, but got there enough. But the ghosts were great. All the characters from the ghosts were just fantastic. The conversations. He carried that movie, though, didn't he? I mean, you know, there was Ethen Hawke bits, but Finney was the movie, really.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love how it comes together as well. Just bits from each ghost helps him. Just really, really clever. Like all tied together at the end was really, really clever, I thought.
And they were just kids. They were just dead kids, like attitude and stuff. That's fucking. Can't get. We're not going to give you all on a fucking plate, sort of thing. That's all I fucking know. Yeah, that was really interesting.
I like the little.
Liked how he helped them though. He quite helped them remember who they were as well.
Yeah.
So there was that like, who are you? I don't know. And all of them were like, I don't know who I am. And they're like, that's your name. And it's oh yeah, actually, yeah, that was my name. And all that. So it sort of felt like he was helping them sort of pass over at the same time. If that makes good sense.
It's their penance.
It was good. It was good, especially the end. I thought the end kill was really cool when you heard that kid go. What was it he said about his arm? He said, "Oh, sweet arm" or something. Can't remember what he said. What the exactly words he said to him, the baseball dude. And that's how it
started. Is it your arm's deadly or something?
No, your arm's mint.
Mint. Yeah.
Your arm's mint, and that's how he finishes him off by making him think, "Wow, my arm's fucking strong, man. I'm going to finish this arsehole." Just thought that was a superb little line at the end because you heard that kid say it, and he was thinking, "Yeah, I'm fucking strong," and it's just like, yes. And you're proper rooting for him at the end. It's really, really good. I enjoyed this thoroughly.
I've got a quibble.
Oh God, there we go.
Because I get what they were trying to do with it, right? But then for me, it didn't fit with the rest of the film. His brother.
Yeah.
So obviously she's like taken to this house, and then they rock up to this house, and there's just some crazy man there who's like well into the case and thinks that he can solve it, and he's obviously jacked up, and then the coppers notice he's got cocaine on the table and stuff, and you know, he's staying at his brother's house, and it turns out that obviously, spoilers, this guy is his brother and he's staying with him, but he doesn't realise everything's going on underneath their house. But his whole character, and then like at the end, sort of, he didn't really fit into the film. Yeah,
I can kind of see what you're saying. It's almost little bit comedic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was to just sidetrack you a bit.
Maybe, and like I said, obviously, oh God, it is actually him. But they didn't sidetrack you because when the coppers left the house, they just camera panned down under the floor.
That was a bit confusing.
He is in his basement. So is this guy crazy as well, or is he trying to throw the police off, or is It sort of asked questions, but it just took us out of what was going on.
That bit, I didn't know whether that was trying to be arty or not, or being actually a pan down. That little bit did confuse me a little bit.
Yeah.
What they needed to do was this guy was in the house over the road where he was burying the bodies underneath, and then decided to go over and investigate, or something like that would have been maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, because it just didn't really. I don't know. And obviously the basement was in the other house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I guess I think it was an attempt at a misdirect that maybe didn't fall right. I mean, he's a irrelevant character because he's just non-essential to the whole story, because he doesn't, when he meets his demise, he doesn't make an impact. You know, there's no sort of reason for him being there. You know, it was interesting though. Obviously he was from It. He was in It Chapter 2, so they reused an actor, which was quite cool. But at the same time, you're right, he's just completely not needed.
It almost felt like they were putting him in there just to get a body and the body count.
Yeah, it was a good it was a good axe to the head.
Yeah,
maybe it was a reshoot. Maybe it was a reshoot. They thought they didn't have enough deaths, and they just got him in for a reshoot and thought, let's add another death in just to get the kill count up.
Yeah. And then the other one is the classic horror trope of when the kid actually escapes the basement halfway through the film, runs into the van door. Like, the guy gets out the house, gets to about 3 doors down without screaming for help. The guy pulls around, rams his van and pulls it in front of him, and he just runs into the van and sort of knocks himself to the floor. Thought that was a bit shit. If I'm honest, I was like, come on, guy. You can avoid the van and scream for your life. But, look, the amount of horror films you could watch where you could say that in, yeah. So that was
we're not going to end on a negative.
We're not.
We're going to end on a positive, because I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, this was one of my favourites I've watched this year, to be honest. It had real depth of storytelling. It had that Stephen King edge without being fully Stephen King, because I'm not aware of the story. Often Stephen King's shorts are the best. So if this was a short by his son, fantastic. He's got that DNA. I want to see more of what he's written. And Scott Derrickson's direction is fantastic. Music was brilliant. The way it was shot, everything, location. I think it was like a really, really good horror for this year. I think it's fantastic. And it's kind of, even though it's not terribly original, it felt it for like with the subtle differences. And that was like that for me. And it was scary. It did have those awesome jump scares, which really did work. Clearly, because we had somebody screaming in the cinema.
I'd also like to see people dressed up as him at Halloween with like black balloons. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. All
the kids running away from this crazy dude. But, you know, it's weird.
Nice.
Because he's not a paedophile, obviously.
He might be.
I don't think he is. It doesn't ever point to that at all. It kind of like, I think the kids kind of worried about it.
I'm not a paedophile.
I think it's more of it's strange because we didn't really talk about that bit, is that he is waiting for them to be bad so he can punish them, as in kill them or torture them. Do you know what I mean?
He said he'd spent time in that basement, didn't he? So it's probably his dad or carer or whatever, whoever cared for him.
True.
Beat him up and left him down there. So
yeah, well, that was interesting because it's like the way he just waited in that chair, that was creepy.
You wouldn't be happy if you hired him as a magician, though. He rocked up to your son's birthday party or daughter's birthday party. You'd be a bit,
yes,
bit creeped out.
So there we go. That's the black phone.
He'll be taking bookings next year.
There's definitely a thumbs up for Blumhouse, this one. Okay, how are we rating this? Let's go to Matt. You can go first.
I would rate this an 8 out of 10 for me, I think. Solid. Solid.
Geordie Paul?
I'm going to give it a 7 because it didn't blow my mind, but it was very well made and very well done. Well, a 7 out of 10 is still good, lads. Come on.
I'll also give it an 8 I really enjoyed this one. You know, it might get a 9. I don't know. It's got rewatchability definitely for me. So it would definitely get another watch at some point. So I guess the maths there is 8 out of 10.
I don't know why I bother showing up every week now, to be honest. I'm only kidding. You can have your 8 out of 10. It's fine.
So there we go. Draw one last breath, 8 out of 10. Moving on to the next episode. What are we looking forward to? We don't know. Nope's not out for about another month by the looks of things. Nope. I think we've got Prey in a couple of weeks. So I think we're looking to Netflix. There's a Thai movie coming out, called Incantation, which Paul has found. So if that comes out.
Not Encanto.
Well, I tell you, if it's any good as the last Thai horror film I ever watched was May the Devil Take You, so please be along them lines, because that was unreal.
Yeah, it's found footage, so it should be quite interesting, so that's on our radar. Other than that, I think it's time to move on to our Something to Scream About.
Time for Paul to get his boner on.
What do you want from me? Why don't you run from me? What are you wondering? What do you know? Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Okay, this episode, Something to Scream About, we are going to be discussing the last 2 episodes of Strange Things, Chapter 8 and Chapter 9, from Season 4. Oh, here we go. Chapter 8. Papa. Nancy has sobering visions, and Elle passes an important test. Back in Hawkins, the gang gathers supplies and prepares for battle. What do we think about Chapter 8? Running time, I think, is something like an hour and 25 minutes. What do we think about the lead up to the finale?
Epic is one word. It's just trying to digest it all, isn't it? Because there's so much been going on in the entire series, and then I tell you what, though, the hour and a half, episode 8, hour and a half runtime went like crazy. Didn't feel like you were watching a film version of Stranger Things. Essentially, it was crazy because I was a bit worried about the hour and a half. Going, is it going to be just drawn out and too long? But no, episode 8 was yeah.
No, we start from where we left off with Nancy in the in Vecna's grasp, but we kind of she kind of gets let off this time with a warning to pass on to Elle, if you like. So she kind of gets let off from that one. We get the Nina project closing down. A little bit of cat and mouse with Matthew Modine, and the army on their back, and Argyle and crew trying to find the location. We get a fucking epic. When you say epic, Paul, an epic scene with when Elle is sort of like getting her powers fully back up, even with a restraining bolt that she's got round her neck. With the way that she fucking takes down that helicopter, it was just like, okay. You know where
the budget's gone. You know what I mean? That crazy budget, man. Just that alone was just fucking insane. Like, I don't know, they must have helicopters up there, fucking drones up there, whatever. But that was some fucking class fucking shots, man.
Yeah, and we finally lose and he's definitely dead. Definitely dead. Matthew Modine, Papa, is dead. Which,
Sniped the shit.
He doesn't really, and when the way he unlocks the restraining bolt, I wasn't really like dead impressed with that, because I'm like, what, is that your arc? She didn't need it anyway.
I did love how like dead shot the sniper was when he was taking out Papa, but with 11 he gave her a couple of chances.
Wow, yeah. That always the are we gonna not? Is she gonna die? Are we gonna start shooting her or not? It's that sort of trope. But it's all good. But you get the montage, the training montage. Everyone needs a montage, supply gathering and all that sort of stuff.
I thought the scene in the ammo shop was genius.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's like all these people buying guns. It's like
it's America, man.
They're all paranoid for the Hellfire Club, aren't they? I think the apocalypse is coming.
Yeah, that whole thing throughout the whole show annoyed me. I don't like the whole let's blame a cult, and they're still sort of well, we'll get onto that in the next.
But it goes into real life that though, doesn't it? Because Dungeons and Dragons, I think I watched a documentary on this where Dungeons and Dragons was seen as a satanic thing for a while. People were a bit scared of it because kids were going off into basements and like talking about demons and dragons, and it was like, obviously because it was a bit simpler times back then, they were really worried about it as becoming this, like, because it became so popular so fast, they thought it was a cult. So I sort of get that, but yeah.
Plus the metal music.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, this was very much like, it still had some epic moments, but it was set up for the finale, which, you know, if we move on to the finale, I'll read a little synopsis for that one. See what they come up with. So chapter 9, called Piggyback. Great name. With selfless hearts and a clash of metal, heroes fight from every corner of the battlefield to save Hawkins and the world itself.
Ooh.
I mean, fuck me. 2 hours, 19 minutes this ran. And again, it flew for me.
So,
not long enough.
Oh, now this tested my longevity. And we're going to disagree with there a bit. I'm going to be the Scrooge in this podcast again. I thought this one definitely, towards the end, the last 20 minutes, I thought could have been rounded up a bit better, or could have been more of a cliffhanger than it was. I thought they dragged the ending out a bit.
It did get a little bit Lord of the Rings at the end, didn't it? And it's like it could have ended twice before it ended. I
thought it could have ended with just Joyce and Hopper getting back, and then just them looking at each other and ending, without the whole like, I've missed you, I've done all this type of stuff. It felt a bit more final than it should have been with the final scene of.
Okay, we'll get there. Don't blow your load.
Sorry.
I mean, yeah, we get the talk of the plan. We've got Hawkins lot, Nancy, Steve, Robin, Dustin, and Eddie, and then you've got Max, Lucas, and what's her name? Lucas' sister. Anyone remember her name?
Lucas' sister.
Lucas' sister. Okay. And then you got the Russian lot, obviously, Hopper, Murray, Guard, weird helicopter guy, and Joyce. They're sort of like planning to go back in and help the kids, as they say, sort of give them a bit of a helping hand by trying to have a go at the smoke monster from this end, you know, get the hive mentality going, you know, like they do. And then you got the pizza party, who have gone to a pizza joint. So you got Argyle, Mike, Will, 11, and Jonathan filling a bath or a big sink with salt so she can do a little sensory thing and help Max. Hence the piggyback. She's going to piggyback on Max's memories because she's seen it. That's quite an interest. That was a cool little thing. I'm not really sure the logistics of it, but you know, whatever. It works. So
they had to do it somehow, wasn't it? They were never going to get back in time, so you knew that this was some sort of way they were going to do it. But yeah, I quite like this. I thought it was a good way. I don't know whether it was like, I don't know if I get some feelings of when it was filmed in COVID and that, because it's kind of like you have this kind of Lord of the Rings, like Game of Thrones stories going on in separate places. Don't know whether they were adhering to a bit of the COVID rules and stuff with filming this, and this is why they chose that kind of way. I don't know if that's maybe one of it, but it didn't affect it in any way for me. But I thought the piggyback thing was a really good idea. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, and you get all the little plans, which are so cool. It's Erica, Lucas.
That's it, Erica, yeah.
Lucas, and Max at the fucking Vecna house in this side of the world. You've got Robin, Steve, fucking Rob, and Nancy. All tooled up, ready to take him on in the Upside Down. And you've got fucking hell, Dustin and Eddie, the most metal fucking thing. I think everyone is raving about this. You know, they're the Metallica distraction is what I've labelled it. I mean, fuck me, that scene is fucking epic. That is just one of the fucking most interesting things I think I've seen on TV in a long time. Cut off jacket, long hair, big fucking guitar, axe, wailing Metallica, fucking, and these bats from hell coming right at him. Oh, that was something else. What do you think it was too much, or did you enjoy it when you watched it without all the hype afterwards?
No, I loved it. I loved that. Yeah, I watched it quick enough so I didn't get any of the hype afterwards. So I was sort of hyped up enough. But yeah, what a way, if you're going to go out, what a way to go out. Like, it was brilliant. Yeah, okay, just perfect for the character, perfectly shot. And like you said, the imagery on it was just unreal. Absolutely unreal.
There's so many.
And then to the point where you're like, he's only been in the show for such a short time, but you're really rooting for him to live and I've already seen loads of conspiracy theories now going, he's still alive and all this type of stuff.
He's a vampire.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck off.
But he's just brilliant, and what a way to go. You sort of knew it was going to happen when he was flashing back to.
Fucking, it's obvious, wasn't it? I mean, the conversation he had with Dustin was like, "Don't you ever change?" It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, come on, you couldn't fucking write it. He's a goner, 100%. I flagged that up straight away. Knew it. But yeah,
but,
I don't know.
The scene where where obviously Max then goes to take on Vecna, and obviously they're trying to do their old rope-a-dope, distract him and stuff, and he knows exactly what's going on, which is like their plan basically doesn't work to a point.
Yeah.
And even when
go on,
11 shows up, and you think, all right, well, here we go. All right, there you go. We're about to. 11 proves quite ineffective, really.
She really does. She chucks him once, and then it's like she still needs those really positive memories. And Mike does come to the rescue with the heart, being the heart, of the group and stuff like that. He does come to the rescue eventually, but it's too fucking late. I mean, that whole fucking scene of just like the Metallica, them going into the house, them getting choked out. Then, is Max going to make it? Is she not? Is 11 even going to be effective?
Fuck, I want to know how long they were choked out for. That seemed like forever.
And then you got, the stuff going on in Russia. Obviously it's just those moments, then boom, and it's like, but it's still too late for some of us, for some characters. And it's like, I had a bit of a cry. I thought when Eddie had gone, I was like choked up already. I was already choked up with that emotional moment. And then fucking hell. The broken legs on Max and the arms and stuff like that, and watching her try, and you're like, fuck, they did it.
It was the words, it was the words she was using for me more than ever. It was like, that is what a real child would say. 'Cause she's a child. That's what she would say. And it was heartbreaking. It's like, it really fucking hit me. It really hit me, that part. And I was just like, that's fucking dark. I mean, you could have just broke one of her arms, or maybe a leg and an arm, but to break 2 fucking arms, 2 legs, and make her blind, it's just like, oh, fucking hell, that's dark.
The emotional range on those two, Max and Lucas, just fucking.
And 11. I mean, 11's there as well, but she can't really do anything. She can't comfort Lucas, and it's just fucking crazy.
Because he's just been put through the ringer. I mean, they have everyone's having that moment where they're like, oh, we're gonna win. No, we're not gonna win. And we're all fucking literally about to die. And it's even Lucas is getting beaten the fuck out of the jock and all that sort of stuff.
But the revelation that actually Vecna isn't the 5-star general, he's the daddy of it all.
That is, that's definitely what we're going for, right? He is orchestrated all of this. The Upside Downs existed.
Yeah. But he's found the particles, the particles in the prison. So that was pushing around, and they were like, well, we're going to go investigate that because we think we can hurt that. Well, actually, that's what Vecna, so Vecna is, number one, as he will probably now called, has created everything. From that particle. He's manipulated that to his will. So he's obviously created the Demogorgon, the Demodog, everything.
No. The Demogorgon was already in there. No, because if you remember, that was a phenomenal scene when we was telling Elle, and he got there and he was half burnt, and there was a demigorg, whatever the fuck you call it, in the distance. So that place, that underground, there's creatures, there's monsters, there's loads of shit, and he's just being able
But
to
he's
manipulate
pulling
it.
this particle together, so he's definitely created the mind flayer in that, because obviously they thought the mind flayer was the big bad over it all, but actually he made that.
Well, it was already there. He just manipulated it into something that I see. There's still lots of questions for season 5 to answer.
But he's the big bad, so like he is the bad guy.
He's what needs to die. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
Now, am I right in saying, because there's loads of people who have heard different things. Now, because there's a bit of him in 11, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. If he dies, does she die?
Well, I guess
I think you need to get ready for 11 dying. I really do.
Will die? Because apparently some of them will as well. So, do you know what I mean? It's just like, interested. And will 11 be able to control that kind of particle stuff that brings stuff to life?
There's so much that they can still do with it. I mean, I heard a rumor that they were going to deal with the kids aging, and I think in my head, it's like if they did that, they're going to set it like a couple of years in the future.
I just don't know how they're going to do that. I just don't know.
It's like,
well, they could. Do you know what could be
Viva
done?
La Resistance. Like Viva La Resistance.
There's a massive hole to the upside down now, isn't there? So everything's going to come through it.
Yeah, but
so maybe they set it as like a apocalyptic world where the whole.
True, but then that's like the good thing about Stranger Things for me is it's setting Hawkins and it's strange things going on in Hawkins. We've got to a point now where this is a global thing because it's going to go outside of Hawkins now. This is going to become, and if they do a time jump, is that going to detract from the group of them, or will it go straight in?
He's still in the 80s where, I know I'm not saying like, it was one of the things when I thought towards the end, I was like, where's the military? I know you got a shot of a couple of helicopters flying in, but I was like, they're all at this like, you know, like aid station giving out food and all that type of stuff. And you think, where the hell's all the military? Because you just believe you descend on this place, wouldn't you? Now,
I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I haven't got a clue.
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to find out in a couple of years.
Absolutely. I mean,
the good thing about this is they know how it's going to end. They said that they knew. They wrote they wrote Stranger Things as a 5-parter essentially, or if you can believe them. But like they wrote it as like a start, middle, and an end. They knew where they wanted to go. So that's why I have sort of a bit of faith of they sort of know what they're doing with it. And obviously this season's been just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
I just hope they don't shit the bed.
Yeah, well, they've just told so much story in season 4, and I know they said that they're not going to be as long, but we're in development. We'll see how much they've sort of come up with, because they've got 2 years now to get it out. We'll see what happens.
Can I ask you a question before we move on? I know you want to wrap up and stuff, but like, do you not feel that there should have been a more pivotal person die in this? Do you think we should have had a loss, or do you think they're not raising the stakes enough with always saving people, and now 11 having this now new power to possibly bring people back from the dead? Is, you know, are we just going to ride this out and they're all going to live, or do you think pivotal characters are going to die? Shoot.
I think there will be a couple of characters die, right? But I think it would be a massive mistake if you just start killing off characters, because I think part of the genius of this series is there was definitely a point where I actually thought, oh my God, like Max twice, to be fair. I was like, oh my God, she's dead. And then Nancy, oh my God, she's dead. They're going to kill Nancy. And obviously it was a bit like, oh, he just let her off. But still, it's that while you're watching it going, shit.
It's clever, because now you don't know if they're going to go for it or not.
I think by keeping them alive raises the stakes more, that now the anticipation of this final series is someone's going to die. Yeah, but I think it would be a mistake to kill any of the kids. I genuinely do, because I just think it's based on that, like I said, the last episode of Amblin, of like Goonies.
It's like the Goonies, yeah.
Nobody died. Like, you don't want to watch it. Can you imagine the Goonies if 3 of them died? That's a completely different film.
No. You're getting me wrong. I don't want them to die. I'm just asking you the question of, do you think...
I like that they're killing off not on the fringe, but I like what they're doing with these characters that are on the fringe. Like Eddie has clearly had a massive impact on culture right now, and
Fucking hell, bigger than you ever think.
yeah, and they still shifted him on, and I don't really care. I'm not really too bothered about.
I don't think that was a choice. I think that was already in
Yeah,
bed. They did not know that he was going to be that big. Trust me.
But what they did with them set him up for, merchandise sales for character. You know what I mean? Like
that's why I'm surprised.
Like Metallica are quizzing now. It's like what you can do. It was the same with Bob. Nobody wanted Bob to die.
No, but Bob
went
was
out.
different. Not this Eddie is like Paul said. It's a culture movement. It's like I'm almost in the camp that I think they will bring him back. I
hope they don't.
The merch. No, I hope they don't. I hope they don't. You're getting me wrong again. It's not about that. I'm talking about the powers that be above that go fucking cash cow.
No, they won't do it, Matt. They won't do it.
Say they will, Paul.
There'll just be something. There'll be.
Because look at Bob.
They got enough
to start. Look at the backlash with Bob. Justice for Bob. Where's Bob gone? Well, Bob's dead. Did you not see I get sucked down that swimming pool?
Bob was nowhere near the status of Eddie.
I agree, mate, but that's the thing. That's why I think it's genius. Is that kill your fringe characters, and I think the adults. I generally think all of the adults in the next series are up for grabs, and that's Joyce, Hopper, the lot.
I think they're also. I think the only one that's at risk will be maybe Elle or Will, and I'm putting that on a loose because I think it would be a happily.
You love your happy ending.
It'd be a happy ever after,
kill
or
all.
something.
Kill them all. Vector wins. Endgame.
Elle, like Elle.
Can you imagine the look on everyone's face?
I'm seeing it now, and this is a podcast, so it's down in history. I will swear down. I think Elle. If they don't, I think they'll kill 11 off in this heroic. I'm going to save everybody by dying. I think that's how it's going to.
They don't, Eddie can. Yeah, they don't need to kill anyone off. But for me, I don't need anyone to die. But
tissue's ready, Paul.
I'm putting my money on 11 and Will.
But they killed it. They killed it, Max, because the effectively, even though she's somewhere,
she'll come back with powers.
100%. I think Max is going to I think she's going to have this weird connection to Vecna. Yeah. I think she's going to be crippled and blind.
Well, Will's already got the connection.
They'll just wheel her out on a little.
He's already had the, right at the end, he had the goosebumps on the back of his neck again. Come back up.
And his nose was bleeding.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that. Yeah, I've seen a poster of it, but I didn't see the blood. But yeah, okay. Interesting. Loved it. Awesome. Fuck Eddie. I mean, no, Eddie's awesome, and Eddie to stay dead. If they bring back Eddie, I don't watch season 5.
The series 100 out of 10, really, isn't it? It's unreal, absolutely unbelievable.
Incredible, fucking fun. I love talking about it as well. Now,
I love getting you guys all riled up about it. It's so fun.
Matt, what's your news? What was your news?
Oh yeah, the news. Well, obviously, I mean, you guys have heard the news about the upside down pictures.
Yeah.
So obviously the Duffer Brothers have confirmed, whether it's 100% or not. I would just find a little blurb of what they said. So Matt and Ross Duffer, the creators of Stranger Things, are launching a new label with Netflix titled Upside Down Pictures, and several hot projects are already on the menu. The focus for Upside Down Pictures projects is said to be on the stories that take place at the beautiful crossroads where the ordinary meets the extraordinary, where big spectacle coexists with inmate character work, where heart wins over cynicism. So yeah, I don't know what this is going to be, whether it's going to be all news stories or backstories or what, but I'm down with that.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with it.
We don't want it to stop there, do we? We don't want Stranger Things to end and then not be anything like it anymore. That would suck. I'm already pissed off that I ain't got nothing to watch, because I had to watch those 2 episodes as quick as anything before spoilers went out there. And oh my God, the very next day, well, not even the next day, as soon as I clicked onto something, the first thing that came up was major spoilers. So I'm really sorry for all those people that got stuff spoiled for them, but it's a shame. I would have liked to take my time, but I had to rush it. I could not get it spoiled, but what a series.
So you just have to rewatch it.
I will.
Yeah. Cool. All right then, moving on. Let's move on to our movie from the vault.
proximity has the same dream.
What is it?
A secret that can no longer be kept. It started a month ago.
What started?
A change in the earth and the sky. His power.
There's a weird locking mechanism. Looks like it can only be opened from the inside.
A life form is growing out of prebiotic fluid. It's not winding down into disorder. It's self-organizing. It's becoming something. What?
Okay, so this was my pick, and I decided to go 80s, which was a surprise to Matt and Paul, I think. But yeah, I picked 1987's John Carpenter's classic, The Prince of Darkness. So I'll just do a quick synopsis. And then I think we're going to have a fight with this one. It's going to be fun. So a group of graduate students and scientists uncover an ancient canister in an abandoned church, but when they open the container, they inadvertently unleash a strange liquid and an evil force on all humanity. So guys, over to you.
What?
Oh my god. Do you know what, right? Can I just say, before you start slamming into this one, the amount of shit you make me sit through, right? You guys, I 2 words. You're welcome.
Do you know what?
Wow. Because I actually love this film.
Do you know what? I wasn't looking forward to it. One, because it had Donald Pleasance in it. I don't like him. For some reason, I just don't, he's up there with James Woods. I just don't know why. I got a thing, he annoys me. So I didn't really want to watch a whole movie with him in it. Victor Wong, great. Not the best of the Carpenter movies, in my opinion, but for some reason, I sat there with my partner and I enjoyed it as a movie. You know, as a movie to watch. We both said, that was a good movie. We enjoyed that. Was it really horror? And I know it's got the sci-fi, the religion, and the horror tropes to it, but I was just like, this was a good movie. But, okay.
Wow. There's a backhanded compliment. Come on, Matt, what do you think?
Well, I stuck it on. Obviously, Carpenter's music is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And I love the score in this movie. Too much for me. I felt like the score overpowered the movie for me. That I get it was running through it, and I do love his music, don't get me wrong. But for me, I kind of got a little bit annoyed with it, because it kind of just, it made me a little bit tired, because it takes a long time for this film to get going.
When did it get going?
Oh, God.
Wowee.
It does take a while. You've got to admit that they're introducing characters left, right, and centre, like with not really much backstory to each character at all, which I was surprised at for a Carpenter movie. For me, it's not one of my favourite Carpenter movies. However, very interesting subject and some very good special effects further on down the line. Very much farther on down the line.
I like the concept, religion versus science and stuff like that. That was an interesting thing. You know, they're all in the church. Brilliant.
Hang on, Paul, before you keep going. Dun 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 dun. Keep talking.
And fuck, man, if you're going to put Alice Cooper in a movie, fucking use him.
Oh my god, yeah, that
use
fucking
him,
pissed
man.
me
I
off.
thought he was going to be much more of a pivotal character.
Stuck a bicycle through somebody's chest.
I wanted to see those people fucking raging on that place, going after people, and them getting killed, and people getting killed.
And there was a lot
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for, because, you know, classic Carpenter is the break into the house and they've got to fend them off. And it didn't really happen. They were just like, oh, look at those people staring at us all the time. Bit creepy though, isn't it?
I thought it was funny with the two geeks and stuff like that. And suddenly they went out and then they were shagging. And then we're like, they're an item now. Okay, that happened. So that's the backstory.
There was a lot of perverts in this film, wasn't there? They just wanted to get her anyway.
Yeah, that was Matey Boy from Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. So
okay, well, I agree with you.
Hang on, before you go on, Geordie Paul, should we kind of say what it's about a bit more? Because we're saying stuff, but we haven't really.
So basically, there's a priest who dies at the start of the film, and he's guarding this sort of chest with a key in, and Donald Pleasant rocks up to take the key off him and finds a strange canister in the basement.
The green swirly thing.
Fucking Stranger Things, mate. Stranger Things robbed that, I've got to say.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, and then basically he hires a professor from a university with all of his grad students to come and basically find out what it is or prove what it is. Because he sort of knows what it is through reading texts that they say it is the son, essentially, of Satan.
Oh, well, yeah, but is it? I thought there was a lot of, like, dimension talk and stuff like that, so it's like from another dimension.
No, so basically...
I was saying that it's aliens and not the devil?
Well, no, it is the devil, so it's basically Satan, but it's not from a religious point of view. So they actually say in the film, which I can imagine has caused some sort of controversy along the line, that Jesus was actually an alien. He was an extraterrestrial who came down to Earth to warn humanity of this danger or this evil, which is Satan, essentially, and to keep it locked up and to keep it. Now, then nobody believed him and obviously killed him because he was mental, essentially what they thought. And then his disciples obviously knew the truth and then kept it going. So it was arguing that Jesus was an alien who wanted to protect the earth, essentially, from this massive evil that may have killed his own world or whatever. And then the whole thing about not letting it out is that, yeah, there's a mirror dimension, a set of parallel dimension where the king of darkness, essentially, so the father of Satan lives. And once this prince of darkness gets out, then he's going to bring him back, and that's going to be the end of the world.
Right. I get it now. That's made more sense to me now, because I didn't really... There was, for me, it kind of, like, really went deep. And I was trying to follow... I don't know if I'm just being a bit dumb, but I was just trying to follow it, and I was like, right, so is it... What is this thing? Is it actually a being? And then it started spraying in people's mouths, which was...
Well, I wrote down that it was... A lot of people got pissed in their mouths.
There's blatantly someone as well with one of those, you know, those bar things, the soda thing that you press the top.
Yeah.
That's the soda water, isn't it? Someone stood there and they go, and they got to open their mouth while they do it. Blatantly.
I mean, I also wrote down that it was a slow burn, which it was, but I was intrigued by the journey. I was intrigued by what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Until I saw what it was. Through a fucking mirror, and then I was
what I was captivated and intrigued by? The trumpet. That bloke was doing. That was impressive. That dude. Did not think that was amazing.
What the fuck?
I put down on a good trumpet mouth. That went on for about 5 minutes.
There was a lot of weird scenes that went on for a bit too long. The guy who kept on laughing and stuff. I'm like, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I think he was deeply religious though, so he was the most religious one out of them, and because it took his body over, I think it was that like internal struggle that he was evil, but he wasn't. So it was this like nervous laughing.
The most evil person in this whole fucking movie was Donald Pleasance, and when he pushed fucking poor old dear through and smashed the mirror. She went through and sacrificed herself for everyone. Then he smashed the mirror. What a prick!
So let's mention the dream sequence, which I don't know if he's like, did you not like? Oh, I thought it was great. So basically when they're in there and it's sort of the canister's taken over, every time they fall asleep, they are experiencing the same dream, which is sort of like a camera panning towards the church door and then a voiceover.
Yeah, a big foreboding shadow. Yeah, it like filmed in VHS. So random that bit was, and I was like, okay. And I guess that's what a warning from the future.
A warning from the future. That's why I got all a bit like sciencey. Was that a warning from the future because we're using your brain as a conductor, and we can only speak to you in dreams, and this is what's going to happen. So essentially, that was the king of darkness escaping to the world because they were beaming it from the future.
Cool. There's a lot of deaths. You know, a lot of people died. Some neck snaps, and a lot of people dying and coming back after they've been pissed in their mouths and stuff like that.
I like the guy with the strong tash. He was like, "Let's go to coffee. Let's go for coffee," and then literally bang, banged her, literally.
And he was like stalking her at the start. Did you know that?
Yeah, he was a bit odd, but he was our hero. Was he supposed to be? He wasn't really, was he? I don't know.
I know he was a bit of a dickhead and a bit of a douche in it, but I did like the guy from Big Trouble in Little China in it, where it's like...
He just wanted to get laid the whole time, didn't it?
You could pass for being an Asian, just blatantly Asian. I thought that was quite a funny line.
And there was a very, very near to the bone gay joke in there as well, which was like, not nowadays. No. And there was a blatant man in a wig shot. I don't know if you guys saw that, where one of the ladies is crawling through that hole and they're attacking her with bricks, and she gets up and you can see as plain as day it's a bloke in a wig, and it's so bad. I was like, oh, come on, John, what have you done there?
Well, John, can I just say, you've probably got maths facts on this, have you?
Don't know, might have.
About the budget? No,
I haven't. Go ahead.
No, well, basically, I was just doing a bit of reading up about it because I don't know. I thought you would maul this a bit. He basically made Big Trouble in Little China a couple of years before, or the year before.
I have got a couple of little bits on this, but carry on.
All right, it bombed obviously at the box office, and obviously there was like studio interference for that, and like it was supposed to be his like biggest hit and all that. And remember the Thing bombed as well, so he was coming off the back of really like poor box office. So he did this independently. So this is an independent film.
Yeah.
So the budget for this was like really, really small, and actually did pretty well at the box office, all in. I don't know. Well, that's what I read. But like he said, apparently the critics destroyed it, but he doesn't give a shit because he actually really loves it. So yeah, I'm with John Carpenter. Fuck you.
I like that the girl's face was all like peeled off and stuff. That was good. I like that. That was good effects.
Do you not like right at the end where the tension where he was about to touch the mirror to see what was going to happen?
Yeah, I did like that, but the hand was a bit crap. So yeah, they probably ran out of budget by then. It looked like a guy with a glove on or something, like a overweight gargoyle or something.
Oh, are you talking about the hoof?
The kind of claw thingy.
Yeah, Satan's hand.
That looked good coming through the mirror, but I'm going to go on to that in Matt's facts. Don't spoil it.
Not as good as the devil from Legend. Let's put it that way.
That's what you did expect to come through the mirror, though. That was attached to that hand.
Well, it was kind of red. It was kind of red, wasn't it?
I really did think it was the creature from Legend.
Tim Curry pops out. Hello.
Yeah, great.
Any other things we want to cover on this?
Just having a look if I missed anything.
The guy in the car park with the ants and his hand falls off. Did you all like all that bit?
It's a nice scene.
The effects are great. I love the little effects.
Nice blood splatter on the bike kill. What's that? I said. I wrote something about garden shears. I wrote down something about Tom and Jerry foreshadowing.
Oh,
sorry. There's a cheap jump scare in it as well. Little turning around and she's there. She's pretty. She was pretty creepy, and I suppose the Kelly transition as well on the bed was a bit fucking went on. It went on, and they were a bunch of pussies, man. That's what really pissed me off. Is that they were in a fucking room. They could jump down and then they could get back up. What a bunch of pussies, man. They wouldn't. It just seems so fucking daft that they were just stuck there for a fucking whole night. That annoyed me. It didn't seem like the peril. There was much peril. That's all. And it's like, why the fuck are you just, like, suddenly they're going in the room, oh my god, we're going to chuck everything against the fucking door. And it's like, what? There's like one dude out there. Just fucking get him, jog on. There's loads of you. Pussies, man.
Say what you think.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say.
Well, come on then. We'll best hear some Matt's facts.
Okay, you ready for this? So, Alice Cooper used the bike impalement trick in his stage show prior to this movie. The bike he used was his own personal prop. That's quite interesting. That's so funny. Made him bring his own props. Save a bit of money.
I can save some cash here. I got a bike that we can use.
Yeah.
What?
John Carpenter's first film that he made independently since Escape from New York in 1981, not only because of the box office failure of his previous film, Big Trouble in Little China in 1986, but also his frustration with the working with the studios because they were so shite. There you go. Alice Cooper originally asked John Carpenter if he could come to set just to watch a special effect. Due to Cooper's manager also producing the film, Carpenter eventually decided to offer Cooper a role as the leader of the anti-God worshipping street people. Ironically, Cooper became a born-again Christian in later life. Peter Jason came up with the idea of the mouth trumpet routine. I was captivated by that. I really was. Carpenter's love of science led to the story idea involving quantum mechanics and the crossroads of science and religion. He became fascinated with quantum uncertainty after reading several books on the subject, but he ultimately felt it was impossible to explain. It was all mumbo-jumbo anyway. It was just a horror movie, he said. Peter Jason suggested that the script touched on just enough to catch it and hold it for the viewer's interest.
Yeah, I agree with that. I did find that quite interesting, the whole science religion thing.
Okay. At around 30 minutes, a bored Walter is seen watching a cartoon on TV. This cartoon is Heavenly Puss from 1949, a Tom and Jerry short where Tom dies pursuing Jerry. He goes to heaven, but is prevented from entering because of all the wrongs he has done to Jerry. In order to get into heaven, Tom has to obtain a letter of forgiveness signed by Jerry within 1 hour, and if he fails, he will go to hell. Fucking crazy. John Carpenter claims the most difficult effect was the claw coming out of the mirror. They drained mercury from a crane to create the effect of a pool of silver liquid. I doubt you'd be able to do that nowadays, would you?
I'll get that.
And the body count is 11. It's quite a big body count.
Yeah, hefty. They were dying left, right and centre.
Yes. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, I liked, I liked things about this movie. Geordie Paul is not a bad movie by any stakes. It's just, there's better Carpenter stuff. And I was just a little bit, it took a while to get running. And, but I did like it. Butcher?
Yep.
Geordie Paul, tell us why you love this film so much. Come on.
I just like the concept of it. Yeah, you're right. To be honest, it does take ages to get going. It does. And you are right. I don't know. I'd never noticed it before. And I hadn't seen this in a while, to be honest. So, but the score does, you do realise it's there all the time.
It's too, so I think it's just a bit too much. Yeah.
It does affect it. But yeah, I just thought it was really good. I think because I watched it early, like I was a kid when I watched, well, teenager, I think, mid-teens when I first watched it.
Okay.
I think it's one of them that sort of holds a bit of, that whole nostalgia thing in your heart a bit. So,
don't worry, Butcher's destroyed films from my childhood.
I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought it was quite clever in places. I loved the kills, special effects, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So yeah.
Good. Butch, anything else to say? You're quite quiet over there.
I mean, I did enjoy watching it as a film. I don't know why, but I'm not like completely smashing it. It was still Carpenter, and it still had that sort of like Carpenter feel to it. You could tell his DNA was all over it. Probably just, I found it more interesting than been captivating. I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. That was it really.
Awesome.
Okay, should we rate this then? Geordie Paul, you might as well go first.
Well, I'm going to give it, because like I said, I enjoyed it, and I did enjoy the rewatch, so I am going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Fair. I think I'm going to give it, for me, it was a middle of the road film, so I don't want to be rude, but 5 out of 10 for me, because it was just middle of the road, and it was good, but it wasn't amazing, and I don't know what I was really expecting, really, but yeah. Butch?
Wasn't going to be that harsh, actually. I thought, 5, 6 maybe.
What? Are you turncoat, mate?
I'm gonna call this Prince of Darkness / Revenge for Cellar Dweller.
Not wrong with Cellar Dweller.
Yeah. Cellar Dweller was tacky fun. I don't know, maybe too serious. I don't know, probably like a 5. Yeah. Middle of the road for me. There's more ones that I would watch over this, and I'm not sure I'd run back to go and see it again immediately.
One thing I would like is I would really be interested in watching it with commentary, just so it would explain other bits. And I think it'd probably put me up further if I had things explained to me and like, oh, that's quite clever actually. That's interesting. So, because even reading Matt's facts, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe maybe a 6. Maybe it is a 6 because the facts were interesting for me, and the special effects were cool. And although the score annoyed me a bit, it's still a brilliant score. So yeah, I'm going to change. I'm going to go back actually 6.
Cool. So that's a draw one last breath 8 out of 10 then.
probably the maths is probably somewhere around 6.5.
Excellent. Well, that's fun. It was fun seeing that movie. It was good.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched it.
Mr. Butcher, it is your turn to pick a movie from The Vault.
I know.
Don't like his face already.
Don't like my face. What? I don't know. I'm struggling to watch. Feel like we've watched everything now. I'm just gonna have to go for something absolutely bizarre and bonkers and stupid and just really, really, get onto Shudder and watch Puppet Master.
Oh, wicked.
Well, I've never seen this, so I look forward to it.
I mean, there's a few. If you want to go through the whole back catalogue, there's 3 on Shudder right now, so they're quite short.
See how I get on with the first one.
Yeah. So I want to watch Puppet Master. We've done Ghoulies, haven't we? So Dolls. So I'm looking forward to watching. I haven't watched it in a while. So Puppet Master.
Good old Puppet Massacre.
Yeah, get some fucking stop animation. Yeah, practical effects. Bring it on. I'll probably want to buy a toy after this.
Have you seen this, Geordie Paul? Have you ever seen Puppet Master?
No, I've never seen it. So, cool. Well up for it, gents.
Only 82 minutes, mate. It's fine.
Cool.
In and out. in and out. So that's episode 107. Moving on to 108. Thank you, everyone, for putting up with us today, listening, cracking. For episode 108, we will be looking to Netflix to watch a movie called Incantation. So that's all the way from Thailand. So that should be quite interesting to watch. Something to scream about. We did discuss this. We were probably going to talk about weddings in horror movies. I think you got to get on that, lads. Find out your wedding movies. And our move from the vault I just picked, which was Puppet Master. And there's only one more thing to say. When there's no more room in hell, here's another podcast.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
You can follow us on Twitter @DrawOneLast, Instagram @DrawOneLastBreath, or pop us an email at drawnelastbreathpod@hotmail.com.